I'm joined today by David Burke, Chef David Burke. It is so great to see you. It's been a long 2 years, and today we're talking about the future of dining, especially here in the Garden State. You just opened up a new restaurant, right? The Goat.
We're open, but we don't have one of the key elements yet, which is going to be a wood-burning pizza oven, and that'll be in a couple weeks.
Do you think this is going to bring a lot of business to that part of the shore?
Well, I think the Bay Shore, that's what it's considered, from Keyport down to Atlantic Highlands, where Sandy Hook starts, is called the Bay Shore. There's about 7 towns on Route 36. You got Middletown and Homedale and Hazlitt, and on the left side, and then going into Matawan. So I think the Bay Shore over the, and I grew up down here, so I've seen a lot of change. I grew up, literally, the Goat is a half mile from the front door of my childhood home.
In Hazlitt, right?
Bar. It was an Irish bar back then. Then it became Piero's for 30 years. I left Hazlitt in 80, and it was an Irish bar. I became Piero's, a pretty well-regarded Italian restaurant, probably in the early 90s. And so we got it, and like I said, revamped it. But the growth and the momentum in towns like Union Beach, Keyport, Highlands, Atlantic Highlands, Leonardo, even Keensburg is great. There's a lot of money being invested in the Bay Shore towns, especially the Keensburg, and this being on the highway next to IFF, the International Flavors and Fragrances Fortune 500 company, and the amount of eyeballs that pass it. We thought we'd do a more casual version of what we do, still sexy and creative. We're getting in on the real estate, and we want to do more stuff down here. But I think the momentum. Sandy was one thing, a tragedy that had a silver lining to help build these communities back up, as well as the pandemic, another tragedy that had a silver lining for this community, because people left the city and moved out here.
No, it's interesting, as you were saying, while a lot of people were shutting down, sadly, you decided it was a good time to invest in New Jersey and prepare for today, basically, where we're starting to go back to normal.
Well, we had some irons in the fire already. We were building something, the Orchard Park, which is fabulous. We were building that. We had signed a couple other deals already. We slowed down in New York. We had Saudi Arabia. The deal was inked. So we said, let's continue. Let's put our energy. Started working from my home when we left the city. And, and we took on some deals. We had some manpower, corporate, and we worked harder and somewhat smarter, I would like to think, and put this thing together. And, we had the can-do attitude. We're like, listen, we need to look for other revenue streams, if we're going to stay alive. I mean, we can't live on assistance from the government. Luckily, our Jersey restaurant, we already had Seabright open. We had Ventanas and San Cubano, which were managing partners going.
Now, you pulled away from New York. You had, yes. You've been part of New York for so many years, starting back when you were executive chef at the River Cafe in Brooklyn. Yeah. Why did you, obviously we all know that New York has been really struggling, but how difficult was it there? And why did you decide, let me come back to my home?
New York's been a struggle before the pandemic. The pandemic was icing on the cake. What de Blasio did with the minimum wage and the benefit packages and the rents and the this and the that, the commutes, it's very hard to make money. I saw that years ago when I first bought the fromagerie. I wanted to start expanding, and unfortunately we had to sell it. Luckily we bought it. It's now Red Horse, but we started to come out to the suburbs because the opportunities, people in the suburbs started eating. 30, 40 years ago, they ate on the weekends. They all wanted to go out Friday, Saturday, before Uber, before social media, before you could actually advertise and get people excited about it. A lot of people have left the city. The suburban people also want to be part of something. They want quality. They want quality. They want to be part of, they want to eat well. They want to drink well, and they want to be in a nice looking restaurant without having to go into the city.
During the pandemic, you got creative. How did you survive There was a time when everybody was terrified. Nobody was going out.
I made cooking videos with my puppet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, luckily we had pots and pans for sale at TJ Maxx, Marshall's Home Goods. So we had a line of that. And that part of the business went through the roof because people were cooking at home. So that went up and our restaurant business went down. So the importance of being a little more diverse is also important for us. And that also led us to say, we need to start getting involved in real estate in the restaurants, not just leases and management deals, because if the, what hits the fan, we're not left standing. If we own the dirt, we have something.
Well, you did the right thing because interest rates are going up now. So you've done your investment and now you're getting ready for this new opening. Do you think a lot of people are ready to go back? I mean, I'm out there, I'm seeing people are packing restaurants again in New Jersey. People are tired, but every time we feel like it's okay to go back, we get a surge and then it goes back down again. What are you seeing in your restaurants?
People want to eat. People want to go out. Red Horses, the anticipation. We're so overbooked for the first 2 weeks already, and we actually have more reservations than I think we can handle. So we got to sort through that. People want to get out. I don't think they want to hear about another surge, and the news is not really. People are still getting COVID, but it's COVID is now just a cold, right? All of a sudden, the media has calmed down. They're too busy talking about Hunter Biden in Ukraine, right? So they got something else to flop around with. But I think people should still be safe if you don't feel good or something. But it's time to move on.
A lot of chefs went a different direction. For instance, Chef Bobby Flay is partners in a company called Wonder, where they come and cook at your door. Do you see a future in that, or do you think people are ready to go back and be social again? They're tired of having
I don't know much about Wonder. I've heard about it. I'm sure it's worth a try. Again, it's not something I would do, but again, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't. Look at some of the fast casual places that are off and running. I don't think it might work. I mean, listen, you got to try stuff, right? And
a lot of people did different things. There were the robotic hamburger making is coming in now. Apparently, I've seen something, or the drone deliveries.
Well, here's my issue with the drone delivery. Drone delivery is kind of fun, okay, but robotics. We're in the hospitality business. Robots are not hospitable. Okay. There's no good morning, Christine, nice to see you again. I have your coffee ready. Even the smallest thing of going to a coffee shop and they know your name. That's hospitality, right? I don't want to get my coffee from a robot. I don't want to get it from a vending machine. I would think a vending machine is like a robot, but not quite as modern, right? And it doesn't talk to you, doesn't have arms, but it can give you a cup of coffee and a stale sandwich or a pie, right? The automat was kind of robotic, right? So I get that because of labor. Labor's too high. So what do? You give people a minimum raise, you increase it, and what does the operators do? They cut out workers because they can't afford it. Now you have more unemployment, so it doesn't make sense, right? Look at Easy Pass, right? All these people have been knocked out of work. It's very convenient and easy. Maybe there's more workers in the offices counting the money, but it's not always benefit. You need a workforce. And in the hospitality business, you need human touch. We're already losing human touch with the phones. Everyone's on their phones. They're not communicating. They don't look you in the eye. They don't go out to lunch and have lunch, and I'm guilty of this. I'll go out to dinner just to sit at a local place alone so I can do my emails. Right? Yeah. I don't invite somebody. I'm like, well, I'm really kind of working, so eating out alone, and then I'm on my phone. So we have that issue of when do we slow down, and when does the bubble break when it comes to the technology and the hospitality? If you go to here's another thing: paper menus. I do not want to read a menu on my phone. When I go to a restaurant, pandemic's over. Give me a piece of paper. I want to read it. I want to touch it. I want to see the logo. I want to see how it's spaced out. I will order more if I can see it. If I'm on my phone trying to scroll up where the side dishes are, where's the bottles of wine, I can't order that much. I'm just like, I don't even get excited, or I just make a simple choice that's a safe one.
Well, you're also very creative, artistic. You love collecting art. Uh, your restaurants also seem to have a theme, like every restaurant, you've got 1776 that people are raving about.
Yeah.
Do you think that's kind of the future, sort of create an atmosphere that people, I mean, it's always been dining, but
Well, no,
you have
yeah,
to
but it's
amp
also,
it up a little bit?
well, yeah, well, 1776 is a good study, okay, because it's a social restaurant. It's a social restaurant like Ventana somewhat. Ventana's got the Latin vibe, and it's more, it's got some sex appeal and a nightclub edge to it because it's got a little later and it's got the music and the DJ, right? 1776 does not have a DJ, but it has a big central bar, but it has a social aspect to it because now you can walk around. There's different compartments. You got the golfing thing in a different wing of the building that you walk through a passageway of salt. You have the dining room separated by the wall, the bar, and then you have the outside. And we do have live music. So this is a place where you can go alone or with a couple of friends, grab a seat or an appetizer, and you're encouraged to walk around and people watch. It's a place to flirt, meet people, eat great food, have a drink, and listen to music. So that's and it's big enough to do all that. You go to a traditional restaurant in Morristown or Red Bank or wherever, and where it's in a town center, you get ushered in. It's usually dark or whatever. You sit at your table and you're confined to your table because it's crowded. The bar's no seats. You can't just get up, walk around, and do some socializing with people from the club or this and that. It's not conducive for that. You sit, you eat, you leave. You rented that space. Here, you own this. You walk around and you can flex. So that's what I think that's important for the future is the social, especially after the pandemic, to be able to go out, be seen, be social, and have choices. Go in for a glass of wine and a pizza, or go in for a 4-course meal and spend more money.
Well, do you think people are also still a little afraid? Like, do you, obviously the outdoor dining is very limited because you only have the summer months to do that. Are you doing different things with the dining, separating seats, or just there are no rules, obviously?
We're back in action. We're done with COVID. We're done with that. We're back in action. We're packed. We're going to put people in. Maybe there's a little more space.
Yeah.
That we'll do some outdoor dining again, but there's nobody outside eating with their hoods on and their scarves anymore. I mean,
Chef, this is a political website, obviously. And what I wanted to ask you was, it's your chance, because I'm sure you're talking to fellow restaurateurs. They're telling you how they're trying to come back as well. What do you want to say to the lawmakers in New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy? This is your chance to tell them what you think they can do going forward to help restaurant owners.
Well, first of all, Murphy did a good job because I'm in New York and New Jersey, and Murphy, I give him credit. He did a good job getting us open for beach season, and with the 25% last 2 summers ago, whenever it was. So I think he did a good job. He's a businessman. He understands the business. So we're all upset at one point. But by getting us open on that Memorial Day, he did a good job, and he understands that we had to survive. And I think some towns more than others did a really good job of creating their main streets into festival things. Asbury did it, Red Bank. I think I don't know all the towns, but so I think he did a good job with that. I think one of the things they didn't do well, but I think it was a national thing, was they kept people on unemployment too long, and that hurt us. We couldn't find people. Right. So I think there's got to be incentive to get people back to work. Some of it's better now, but still it's hard to find employees for especially the restaurant business, because the restaurant business got destroyed. So people are like, well, I'm not going to go. There's many chefs that were good chefs that I know that are driving Ubers, became electricians, selling real estate, because the restaurant business, there's no cushion when something happens. Right? There's no pensions, there's no this and that. It's a big business in America, but it's a small-minded business. We're not unionized, which I don't say we want to, but there's no strength in the numbers because we're all competing with each other.
Yeah.
Are
you getting a lot of people? You think a lot of people are going back, or do you think as you were saying, there's a huge gap still in?
It's still hard to find the right people for the right job. So we're still having to train a lot. We're still having to pay a little bit too much for what we're used to getting. But I'm very happy to be doing business in Jersey. because, the people are strong, they're supportive, they want to eat out. They've given up, some of them, on going to Broadway and going to eat on the weekends in the city. Right now, the amount of great restaurants in Jersey is beautiful because because the quality's come out here and the demand is here. And when the demand is high, the quality has to get good, because now we're all competing for XYZ seats. So I think politically, listen, I'm happy that we're in Jersey and we can do this. Is there other things that we can do? The liquor licenses are expensive. That's one other thing that's, which is outdoor dining permits should be a little bit more flex. Depends on the town there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And I think, we all need marketing. And if the state could help with marketing, we do restaurant weeks, we do this and that, but the margins are so small on the restaurant business. So there should be some kind of relief with labor. And, again, if I had a wish list,
You're saying perhaps like the hospitality wing of the state government, maybe they can do something to help all the restaurants?
Maybe there's some marketing, maybe there's some training, maybe we can get some tax breaks on bringing people that don't go to college jobs, creating jobs and things like that, a training program, or get credit for taking people that are offenders or this or that, or that had a tough start, or people off the streets and give them jobs, or, things like that. Or we become the training arm of the community college, working with these people so that the communities become stronger and we can help support the communities.
That's a tremendous idea, Chef. Hey, thank you so much. And I wish you so much success with all of your restaurants, and looking forward to going to a few as we open up. Thank you, Chef.
Okay, thank you. Or the government can give us free foot massages because we're working too hard on our feet.
We all need a good foot massage. I'm telling you, it's been a rough 2 years for a lot of people.
I'm just thinking about my day ahead of me, but I'm good. We're happy. Thanks. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. You're always going. Keep at it. Take care. Bye-bye.